to a teacher.
Call so this is a full school committee meeting.
I wish it was just make 5 minutes and 2 minutes.
Full school committee meeting calling to order. Quick roll call. Amy.
Here.
Lindsay.
Here.
Lily.
Here.
Eileen.
Here.
Kendra.
Here.
And I'm here, and Mark Sedaris isn't able to make it to the meeting, but he will meet us a little bit later at the retreat. Public forum. Nope. Okay, action item, we have basically, we're meeting to talk about and to take an action on the FY 2019 budget. But first we'll have a report from Kendra from a joint meeting of the Budget and Finance and Buildings and Grounds subcommittees.
Great, thank you. We met on Wednesday, June 26th, to joint Budget and Finance and Buildings and Grounds. And we discussed the requested transfer that Heidi put forward, the savings that caused the surplus, and the projects and the needs that can be addressed with these funds. We reviewed a memo that with an overview of the FY19 cost center transfers, and we reviewed a memo that outlines the items removed from the capital improvement plan to be funded with these transferred funds. Before I hand it over to Heidi, a few notes. All the items in the projects that have been requested to be funded through the transfer are either one, unfunded priority items from the FY20 budget, which means they've been discussed and vetted by this committee a number of times. 2 projects currently on the SIP, on the capital improvement plan, and have been discussed and reviewed by both the school committee and the town council. Or 3, there's one item that falls into this category, asbestos abatement, that while not as an active safety concern, is an issue that we obviously take very seriously, and we would like to remediate this year. There was a motion was made and seconded to recommend to the full school committee approval of the proposed transfers between cost centers for the in FY19, and each subcommittee approved the motion unanimously. I'll hand it over to Heidi.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me first just ask for a motion to approve the report. Is there a motion?
Moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Guys have it. Thanks. Okay. So then as Kendra said at the end, the main point here is to look at the budget transfers that are required, and there's one sheet that does that, which looks like this, I believe, still. And so that lists all the various transfers. That's the action that we will take, is to approve those transfers. But Heidi's going to give a little bit more context on kind of how we ended up where we are, and Kendra's already kind of given a high-level view on that, but Heidi will give a little bit more context on that.
Okay, thank you. So on the table up front and in the documents that were just handed out are the same documents that were at the joint committee, because nothing has changed since then, but for the people at home that may have missed the other meeting, we always have some savings throughout the year that are unanticipated and can't be known ahead. So going quickly through, we had some instructional aid positions, some turnover from sometimes more expensive staff who retire after the budget is voted, and new people coming in are a lesser expense, and a number of things that happened with substitutes. For instance, we couldn't fill a lot of the substitute positions this year because we're in a robust economy, and we're all buying for the same pool in the area. So that was the highlight reel of that, and we have applied some of the salary savings to the kindergarten aides and door lunch monitors that were approved during the year. The largest expense savings that we had was that we had lower transportation and tuition expenses that were anticipated. We budgeted for 65 students to go to Minuteman. We only had 55 this year. We had prepaid some out-of-district tuition. The circuit breaker receipts came in due to a late appropriation in the state budget last April, so with an additional 200,000 plus that came in, and we only have 1 year to use, so that was part of what gave us additional funds in this year's budget. And then there's also savings in other lines that when taken all together put us in a pretty good place this year, and so we were able to, in discussion with the town, move some of the things off the capital improvement plan that were to be funded by the town in any case as of 7/1/19, and use some of the operating funds to have some of that work done. Not only is that helpful to the town for the items that would have been funded by borrowing, so that the town does not have to go out to borrow and pay interest on that, but it's also helpful for our Director of Public Buildings, because there's a short window when school gets out before Camp Aquasit and everything else is in, for her to be able to get some of the projects done. So in every way, it seemed like a good plan. It was put forward to the school committee and the town auditor and several other parties that weighed in, and everybody was in agreement. The last item that Kendra mentioned came up late. It was not on the CIP originally for this coming year. It came up late in the discussion because it was for further out, or it would have been for further out, which was for the asbestos abatement on the flooring at the middle school, and it was consensus that that was a good thing to move forward with. So that was added on, and still all of that was in this document, as John said. So I don't know if you wanted to go through the amounts, John, or just?
Just briefly, a kind of high level, I guess.
Okay. So salary expenses in each of the cost centers that the school committee votes between cost centers. For the administration, there was transfer out of $291,378 is what was available. There was on the original document, $38,000 unapplied at the bottom, and John, you don't have this version. I just put a note at the bottom that this actually would net off of that. At the time it was falling out, and I had to put the note on the first time. I apologize for that, but it is on the latest document and the one that I had sent to Kendra. Curriculum recommended transfer in was $24,501. Regular day was $351 transfer in, $351,105. Student services transfer out $1,289,871. Athletics transfer in $170,432. Extracurricular transfer out of $42,155. Facilities transfer in $1,027,742. And technology transfer in of $11,501. That was the list that we had brought forward to the joint committees. And then additionally, for anybody who does have the documents or is looking online, there was another document that expressly listed the items that would be moved forward on the CIP. There is also one item that we no longer need that is being removed, which was the Hosmer chairlift, because it just wasn't what we had planned would not be in compliance with code. So that was taken off, so that's also on the list. And that's the reason, I just wanted people to know, that is the reason it's coming off. It's not anything else being moved around, it's just, we had mentioned it at the last meeting as well. So, hopefully, if anybody has any questions.
Okay.
Additional?
So let me ask first for a motion to approve these transfers.
Make
So moved.
Second.
Second. Okay, discussion, questions on the transfers? I think you can see the largest one clearly is on facilities, which is, again, paying for some of those capital items that, with the exception of the one, all of them are already on the plan, and the new one, I think, is an important one dealing with asbestos issues. So it's really being proactive. It's not, I think Dee made this point, and want to make it again, that it's not that there's a danger at the moment, but it's a proactive to try to deal with a situation that could develop down the road if there's disturbance of areas that would then expose asbestos. So the strategy here is, so let's get rid of it before it even gets disturbed.
Yeah, and we found this year at the high school and also at the middle school that, you know, tiles lift. I mean, that's just what they do.
Right, right.
And it's not the tiles that are the problem, it's the mastic underneath.
Right.
So it's bound to happen, but it's just a question of when, so why not be proactive? And, you know, we're gonna be in the middle school for quite some time. So better to take care of it in a proactive way than waiting until the tiles pop up.
Right.
They will, so, as they have, so.
Other questions or comments, concerns?
Just thank you to Heidi for this comprehensive and excellent report.
Yeah, thank you very much. Absolutely. Okay, motion to approve. We already made the motions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. Thank you very much. Finish up on the agenda. I put on the reports. I don't have a report other than just to say that we have a school committee meeting on July 22nd, 2 weeks, and probably one of the main agenda items will be our evaluation of superintendent. That's the schedule that we have. Superintendent, do you have any report?
I do not have anything to report at this time.
Okay, any new business? Any announcements? Is public forum? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Okay.
So,